Hey there, my name is Noelle and I'm a nutritionist slash nutrition educator. And if you clicked on this video, it's most likely because of the title. So let's get right into it. How to be healthy and stay healthy by a nutritionist.
Good morning and happy Friday. Let's get the day started, shall we?
So, what is health? Well, according to the World Health Organization, as of 2024, health is defined as a state of complete physical, mental, and social well being, and not merely the absence of disease or infirmity. Now, I know this sounds like a lot, so let me simplify it for you. The most important thing I want to note is that health is subjective, and what may be healthy for you may not be healthy for someone else, and vice versa. We're all different, and that's okay. In fact, I find it beautiful. Health is not about a number on a scale, or what you look like, or even what your plate looks like. Health is about balance while keeping in mind your physical, mental, and overall well-being, and that looks different for everyone. I'm so tired of seeing people all over the internet, especially professionals like myself, promoting diet culture and toxic eating behaviors and patterns and calling them normal, telling people that these are the standards that they should abide by when there is no standard. So, in this series / video, I want to show you guys what healthy looks like for me. Because again, healthiness is all subjective, and what may look healthy for me may look different from someone else. I want to show you that eating healthy doesn't have to look like what social media has to offer. And in addition to this, I want to make sure that this is a safe space for everyone. There is no calorie counting, no macro counting, no counting of any sorts. The only thing we do count, however, is how happy, how fulfilled we are, and that's how we adjust accordingly. So, let's simplify what health is and how to be healthy in a couple steps, as well as some facts. Or receipts, as I like to call them. Did you know that new studies are coming out on women's health and sleep, which shows that we need more sleep than men? Although we don't really think about it often or have it in the forefront of our minds, sleep is one of the most crucial things you can do in order to keep your body healthy. So, try to get your minimum requirements of 8 hours per night if you can. Another thing we don't necessarily think about at the forefront of our health journey is something that's extremely important: our mental health. Now, I know there's a lot of stigma behind mental health and that this is coming from a privileged standpoint, but it is extremely important that if you have access and are able to take care of your mental health. Although we think of mental health as seeing somebody like a therapist, it's also important to note that mental health includes and encompasses a variety of things like mental enrichment. These things can include reading books to keep your brain active, having healthy social relationships, and even playing games. So go out and do something that makes you happy and brings you joy each day if you can. Now, as we all know, working out is also an important component in your overall health. I try to work out 3 to 5 times a week, but everybody is different, and just because I do something and it works for me, doesn't mean that you should do it as well. Always remember to never compare yourself. Do what works for you. In addition to this, it's important to remember that working out doesn't have to be the classic gym, or running, or what other people may think of as a workout. Working out is keeping active and moving your body in ways that you enjoy, and for me, that's lifting, walking, hiking, dancing, and having fun with my friends playing sports with them. For you, it may be different, and that's okay. As long as you move your body regularly, that's all that matters. Now, according to the CDC, we all need approximately 150 minutes of moderate intensity physical activity and 2 days of muscle strengthening activity per week. Now, let's break this down. What that means is that 150 minutes per week should be going towards moderate intensity aerobic activity, which is anything that gets your heart beating faster. That includes biking, swimming, walking, hiking, dancing, or anything that gets your heart going. The other 2 days a week should be used for muscle strengthening activity. These activities are things that make your muscles work harder than usual, such as weightlifting, strength training, and even body weight exercises. Now, I know we've all heard it before, but let me remind you just in case. In addition to working out, always make sure to stretch. Stretching is important before and after our workouts, not only to warm up and cool down our bodies, but to help with our flexibility, mobility, and injury prevention, which is very important. Now, speaking of injury prevention, did you know that hydration actually helps with this? This is because dehydration actually leads to muscle fatigue, which increases the risk for injury. So, staying hydrated can help reduce that muscle fatigue and reduce the risk of injury. So, the big question is, how much water should I be drinking? Well, if you're a man, that would be about 3.7 liters or 15.5 cups per day, while women need a little bit less, around 2.7 liters or 11.5 cups per day. There is so much misinformation surrounding nutrition these days, especially with the rise of social media and easily accessible information, whether it be true or false. Due to this, I think it's very important to always think about what people are telling you or what information you're being fed, no pun intended, on a more critical level and doing your research or talking to an actual professional if possible before starting anything. For me, personally, I take on a very balanced approach when it comes to nutrition due to past eating disorders and disordered eating behaviors, as well as being a holistic nutritionist. When it comes to food, think about quality over quantity, not subtracting things from your diet necessarily, but adding onto your diet in order to enrich it. Now, did you know that happiness not only impacts your mental health, but physical well being as well? Some studies actually state that your levels of happiness can actually increase your lifespan from about 4 to 10 years. So, think about that for a little bit and try to go out there and find something that makes you happy each day. Now, going back on the topic of nutrition, let's take a sneak peek at what a grocery shopping experience looks like for me. As you can see from my shopping cart, I have a little bit of everything. While the majority of my diet comes from whole foods such as fruits, vegetables, whole grains, proteins, and healthy fats, I do still eat pastries and quote unquote junk food or processed foods, which is okay. Personally speaking, there are no good or bad foods, and demonizing foods is not helping anybody. Instead, let's focus on how we can make our diet work for us and our lifestyles and goals in a balanced way because everybody is different, and that's okay. Now, this might or may not sound familiar, but I know you've probably heard it before on social media or wherever. But the 80/20 rule is something that I like to stick by and is a way to say that 80% of your diet should be coming from whole foods, while 20% of it should be coming from things that you enjoy that may not be the best for you, but that's okay because everything in moderation is good. One salad is not going to make you healthy, just like one fast food meal will not make you unhealthy. So let's stop thinking about nutrition as a black and white and start thinking about it as a spectrum. Only then will we truly be at peace with our foods. As you've probably noticed throughout this video of what I eat in a day, my food choices are very balanced and so is my lifestyle. But this is what works for me, and it may not work for you, and that's okay. Now, before you come at me in the comment section about promoting obesity and unhealthy lifestyles, this is not the point. What I am trying to say is that finding balance is the most important. I'm not here to say that one way of living is better than another. I'm just letting you know what works for me and what my personal feelings and thoughts on these subjects are with my professional background.
She might not be the prettiest, she might not be a looker, but she's tasty. And it's the inside that counts, right?
Now, I know we touched upon happiness for a little bit and our mental health, but let's go back to it a little bit, shall we? Now, as much as I love to eat, another thing that I love to do is baking and being in the kitchen. I find that cooking is a cathartic experience and helps me relax and lets me play in creative ways and have a new creative outlet to try new recipes and different things. Now, this strawberry yogurt muffin recipe is one of the best muffins I've ever had in my life, and I stand by that. Now, some of you might ask, was that a full cup of full fat yogurt and half a stick of butter that went into that muffin recipe? And yes, absolutely, because that's what made them tasty. And I will stand and die on that hill. There is no reason to be demonizing foods or to categorize them as good or bad, as long as you enjoy everything in moderation. If you would have told me a couple years ago that I would be enjoying these muffins guilt-free without thinking about the macros or amount of protein content that was in there and the lack of protein powder, I would have told you you're crazy. Now, I want to be completely honest and transparent with you guys. My relationship with food has healed so much, but it is still a journey. And with all journeys, there are ups and downs. And for everyone that is like me dealing with these things, remember, nothing is linear. It's always going to be ups and downs, but look at how far back or how far you've come and be proud of that. Now keep going. You got this. We got this. Now, I know that was a lot of information to go through, but let's recap, shall we? How to be healthy and stay healthy, according to me. Number 1, remember to get your sleep in. Sleep is very important, and the minimum requirements are 7 to 8 hours per night. Number 2, work on your mental health. Check in with yourself. How do you feel, and what can you do to help you feel good? Remember, happiness, just like health, is subjective and is different for everyone. Number 3, move regularly to stay active in ways that you enjoy. Remember, finding something that works for you and is sustainable for your lifestyle and goals is key to staying consistent. Number 4, I've said it once and I'll say it again. Remember to drink your water, y'all. Water is life. Now, quick reminder, active women, 2.7 liters. Active men, 3.7 liters. Adjust accordingly. Number 5, work on finding balance in your diet. Instead of focusing on what you can take away from your meals, try adding onto your meals with nutrient-rich foods instead and see how that feels. Thinking about foods as good or bad and telling ourselves that we should or should not eat an item because it's processed or whatever the issue may be can only lead to cycles of restricting and binging, and that's not what we want to do. Instead of thinking about something as bad and not eating it, try to complement it. An example would be a processed food like muffins. There's nothing wrong with a muffin as long as you make it nutrient dense. Just add some veggies, some fruit, and a protein to balance it out. And even if you don't, you'll be fine. I promise. Remember, it's about the overall. And lastly, number 6, do what makes you happy. And remember that comparison is the thief of joy, so do what works for you. Always love yourself every step of the way because you only have one body and one life to live. So, live it to your fullest. Now, I just want to wrap up the video by saying thank you guys so much for watching and for subscribing and staying with me throughout my journey. I appreciate you guys so much and hope that you find a little bit of light in this video. If you have any questions, comments, anything at all, let me know, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.